back to you, Hala.
Thank you very much, Patience and Charles, for welcoming our course participants. I think what we will do now is we will move over to the introduction of the program, which I will present. And we would like to ask all participants to also introduce themselves in the chat. So if you would like to put your name and where you are from in the chat, so that we can also see who has joined us here today from which organizations and institutions. We would appreciate that. So please do put your name in the chat and also the name of your institution. I also want to welcome the regional reference group members. I think you will see that we have a number of Aguas on our platform here this morning, and I think that is just because many of the Mozambicans have joined us through the link that was sent to Agua. But Agua, if you would like to just maybe come onto the platform, open your video if you can, and just introduce yourself also to the participants on the webinar so that we know you. Our reference group members are specialists in the area of ESD who are assisting with the program in the different countries. So Agua, would you mind just coming to unmute and open your video so that we can see you and just introduce yourself?
Okay, thanks. Thanks very much, Professor, and good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to talk. And hello, good morning.
Yes, we can hear you, Agua. Do you want to just show your video quickly so we can just see you and then go back to the sound?
Let me try to show my picture. Oh my God. Okay, maybe I will do it next time, Prophet. Okay, now it's okay. I can do it now. So the host, can you open my video, please? Perfect.
Can you open my video? Agua? We'll do so now.
Yep.
Hello? Hello. Could Agua speak in Portuguese so that we can test out how it works in English?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could Agua also speak in Portuguese so that we can listen in English?
Can I introduce myself? Sorry? Hello?
Hi, Agua, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can I introduce without your image?
Well, I'm asked to start your video, so you should be able to, if there's a request coming in, just click on it.
I tried to activate my video and I failed. Why? I tried to activate my video and I failed. Why now I decided to forget about it?
Okay, so I
will activate my video.
Yes, I think the problem is that many people are using your link, so others are able to activate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not being able to activate yours.
I think, Agua, just introduce yourself verbally and then we'll do the video tomorrow.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for
Okay.
Okay. Good morning e bom dia a todos, parceiros de Moçambique e parceiros de Angola.
Bom dia.
Where I'm from Mozambique, and now we are together with Dr. Marisa and Vitória Peixoto. Marisa Mate, Vitória Peixoto is our assistant in order to help all the participants to join in this course. We expect to be around 15 participants, but the different reason, maybe some of them they can fail to join, but we'll try to keep all of them in the course. Thanks a lot. Mozambique is in the coast of Indian Ocean. It's a so large country with around 2,070 km of the coast. Population is around 40 million. We have 10 provinces, around 40 mother tongue, including dialect inside. And I think now it's all. We'll be together during these 10 days. I think we can discuss a lot about Mozambique and during this time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Agua, and a big welcome to you. Agua has been working with ESD for many years in Southern Africa, and we're very happy to have him as the regional reference group member for Mozambique. And can I just see whether Sabino is with us for introducing as the regional reference group member from Angola? Charles, can you see if Sabino is with us or no? Okay, doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I can't see him, but I thought you joined earlier on.
Okay, well, if he comes in, you can just let us know and then he can introduce
Okay, fine.
himself to us.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I'm going to move on then, Charles, if I can, with introducing the program, and then you can take over from me from there.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to be showing this presentation. It is in English so that I can see what I'm saying. And it will be just translated on the channel. So please do listen as I go through it. It's an introduction to the program overall and how the program is running. All of this information is available in Portuguese in the translated booklets and also in the online course, which has also been fully translated. So even though I'm speaking now in English and I'll be showing the PowerPoint in English, all of the information is available in Portuguese on the online course and also in the online materials. So Charles, is that looking okay? You being able to see the screen? And
Yes. So far, so good.
Thank you very much. Trevin, can you just manage? There's a bit of feedback somewhere.
Yes, we'll do.
Yeah.
Prof, also just want to say that we are live streaming to YouTube, and
Okay.
those who cannot make it, they can watch on YouTube. I'll put the URL here. So if anybody has other guests that they want to watch, it is on YouTube, and it'll also be available for later for those who cannot make it. The URL is in the chat.
Thank you very much, Previn. So we will do that as well to make the recordings available for those who could not join. Okay, so this is a program that is being implemented by UNESCO, and it's a program called Sustainability Starts with Teachers. And what it is, it's a program to support capacity building for teacher educators on education for sustainable development in the SADC region. So in the SADC region, we have quite many challenges, one of which is the challenge of climate change. And you can see here at the bottom, this little illustration here is the projections of the temperature rises for Southern Africa as we are facing climate change. So I think the little picture at the bottom here shows that all of our countries are affected. And so we need to be preparing ourselves in order to respond to some of the different challenges that we are facing as a result of environmental degradation, climate change challenges, and other sustainability issues. So we will talk about them a lot in the course. We'll go through them in more detail. I just wanted to, start here with this one. It's a very big challenge, not only for us, but also for people all over the world. Here is a little picture when we were designing the course. This was a picture that we took when we were in Harare. And at that point, we had major energy, fuel price hikes, challenges with energy supply, That, of course, is also one of the big issues of sustainability in the SADC region, as I think we all know. Here is another picture, which is a picture of drought. And when the drought affects our food production system, produces another kind of challenge for us in the SADC region when it comes to sustainability. And of course, in all of our countries, we have different challenges that come as a result of these issues. I think Mozambique has had some very serious impacts coming from the cyclones, tropical cyclones off the coast, and so on. So it's very important that we as a region begin to prepare ourselves well for this and how to respond to it in the future. And of course, we can't leave our teachers out, because the teachers are teaching the next generation of young people. Hence, we need to work with teacher educators to work with our teachers so that it can inform our entire education system. So we are all in the SADC region and around the world facing what they call wicked problems. And these problems are quite complicated because they involve society as well as environment as well as economy. It's not just one thing, it's all three, and it's all three together. In addition, they also involve history, culture, science, knowledge, gender relations, coloniality, and more. So it's very important that if we can, think through what this means, these issues mean, and what kind of an education we need to offer in response. So we have been doing work on this for a number of years, 20, 30 years now, and it's very clear now that a qualitatively new kind of education and learning is necessary, especially transformative learning. So in the Sustainability Starts with Teachers program, we will be concentrating on these issues, how to understand them better, and then also the kind of education that we need in order to respond better to these very complex issues that are affecting our societies. So as we all know, this is not being ignored, and all over the planet now, all of our nation states, member states, led by the UN organizations, partners, all sorts of organizations are working together to try to resolve some of the challenges. And of course, the Sustainable Development Goals, you can see them here, 17 Sustainable Development Goals, are a very important instrument, a very important policy instrument to assist our countries to be able to respond to these different challenges. So, for example, continuing to fight the problems of poverty, food insecurity, health risks, quality education, gender inequality, clean water and sanitation, clean energy, good jobs, and so on, sustainable cities, looking after our biodiversity, both in the ocean as well as on the land, trying to get societies that are more peaceful and more socially just. So these are the agenda, or what they talk about as Agenda 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals. And then, of course, we also have the Agenda 2063 of Africa, which is a program that tries to articulate the kind of a continent that we want. And this Africa 2063 is also aligned with the SDGs, but of course goes beyond them, as you can see, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2063. And in the middle of all of this is also the education continental strategy for education for Africa, SESA. And these documents all provide us with, policy direction and orientation that we can use as we try to do this transformative education. So with SESA, it says that we would like to not only own the Global Sustainable Development Goals, but to adapt them and to make them compatible with our own aspirations. And that's what we will be doing in the Sustainability Starts with Teachers course. We'll be working with teachers, teacher educators, to make these sustainable development goals work with them at a practical and a local level in our institutions, in our teacher education context, in our communities, and with our students. So one of the SDGs, target 4, which is the target on quality education. There is the goal, SDG goal number 4 is the goal on quality education. And inside that goal is a target. And this target requires all of our governments to integrate education for sustainable development into education systems as a key feature of quality education. So it says that by 2030, we need to ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills that are needed to promote sustainable development, including, amongst others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. So this is known now more and more as the transformative target. It's a target that is helping governments and us and everybody to conceptualize the transformative education and how we can build a stronger transformative education approach into our mainstream education systems as a key feature of quality education. In other words, this needs to be part of quality education, not something that is separate from quality education. This, of course, is the work that we're going to be doing together. And of course, none of the other SDGs will be possible without education and learning. So it's a very important task that we have and a very important project that we are working on together. So education for sustainable development is really about transforming society. And in the program that we've developed here, we've also tried to make these SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, more accessible. So, for example, Sustainable Development Goal number 6 on water is we've called it Love Water. So if we can encourage children, teachers, communities to love water, we will be able to take better care of our water and so on. So education for sustainable development empowers learners to take informed decisions and responsible actions for environmental integrity, economic viability, and a just society for present and for future generations while respecting cultural diversity. It is about lifelong learning, and it's also an integral part of quality education, as I've said already. So ESD is holistic and transformational education, which addresses learning content and outcomes, pedagogy, and the learning environment. And it achieves its purpose by transforming society. So as we work together on this program, we will be encouraging you to choose change projects that will help to bring this transformational focus into reality as an integral part of quality education, while also transforming society in the local context where you find yourself. And of course, this is very important for us in Africa, because Africa is currently one of the most youthful continents, and UNICEF has projected that by 2050, half of the world's children will live in Africa. So the question for us as teacher educators is teacher education preparing teachers and TVET educators, technical and vocational educators, to support children and young people to live and work in a more complex world under rapidly changing conditions? This is the question that we are addressing together in this program. So we have been working for a long time on these programs since the early 1990s, where we were working with the SADC, the Southern African Development Community's Regional Environmental Education Program. We had a very active program both in Mozambique as well as in Angola, working with the SADC REAP, and also running and developing professional development courses. Since then, those courses extended to international training programs, also offered across the continent, even into Asia. And so we do have a very big alumni network that are linked to these courses over the long period since the early 90s. But when we started this program with UNESCO 4 years ago with patients, 4, 5, 6 years ago now, I think, Patience, we realized that there was this huge alumni network and a lot of ESD experience and expertise in the SADC region, but it was not well connected. And so we said that we had this sort of what we call under-mobilized capacity to support ESD and SDGs in teacher education in the SADC countries. And so we thought that this needed to be mobilized, to be connected, and to strengthen our ESD expertise across the SADC region around the Agenda 2030 SDG context, climate change, and the Africa Vision 2063. And this is what took us to the point of launching this Sustainability Starts with Teachers program with UNESCO, the UNESCO Regional Office. So this is our program that we started in this form in four years ago, I think now, and we've already been running the program. This is now our 4th year, but in 2019, we started with Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. And in that year, we had the courses in person because it was before the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020, we worked with Lesotho, South Africa, and Zambia, and we had to go online. We had to take the course online because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, we worked with Eswatini, Malawi, and Tanzania. And I'm happy to let you know that you will be joining the graduation of some of these participants, the 2020, some of the 2020 participants will be graduating, and a few of the 2021 participants will also be graduating, and we'll be doing that at the end of next week. 100 participants will be graduating. So that's very, very exciting. And we have still got more participants that are continuing with the courses, and we will have another graduation later in the year. Of course, hopefully some of you will also be joining. I hear from Vilma that some of the Angolan participants are already completing their assignments even before the courses actually started. So I think we will have a very good graduation later in the year. So this year we are concentrating on working with Angola and Mozambique. And of course, we wanted to work with you together because so that we can also do it with Portuguese, and we've put a lot of effort into translating the whole program into Portuguese, and that of course took us a bit of time. So we're very much looking forward to working with you. We will work with a little bit more of a hybrid model this year, where we will also visit the country. So we will visit Angola and we will visit Mozambique, and we've already had one workshop with some of your lead trainers from Angola and from Mozambique to start the process. We are now busy registering all of the online course participants for Angola and Mozambique. I hear from Vilma that we have over 50 Angola participants already registered. We have some of the Mozambique participants registered, and I think we have going to make a big effort today, tomorrow, and the rest of this week to get the rest of the Mozambique participants registered on the online course. So we're very excited about this. This is our last year of doing this, and we will then be continuing to develop the network also as the year unfolds and also into early next year. So we have developed a program website and also an e-library where we have a number of resources for ESD on the website. We are very happy that we've been able to also put a translation function onto the website. So this whole website, if you go to it, there's the URL. You can press a little button at the bottom, and you can choose to read the website in Portuguese or to read the website in English. So the website is now also available in Portuguese. And I'm very happy that we've been able to do that. We've been learning as we go. So if everything is not perfect, we are still learning, and we're trying our best to make everything as accessible as possible. We also want to request and ask our Portuguese colleagues from Mozambique and from Angola to also share good materials that you have for ESD so that we can put more Portuguese materials into the e-library. So we will be asking you as we go along to please do that as well via your regional reference group members, who will assist you then to share that material with Previn. Previn will put it into the e-library where we are building up a repository of materials for our teachers, teacher educators to use to teach and work on ESD. So please do visit the website. And as I said, you can get a lot of information about the program on the website by just oops, it looks like we might have dropped translation. Previn, can you check in with Antonio? We'll just wait a bit.
I'm just see.
Perhaps if you speak, I will know whether I've chosen Portuguese to hear the translation.
Okay, is Antonio back?
He is there, but we cannot
hear him.
Hear any translation.
I'll contact him on WhatsApp, Prof.
Okay, just see if you can solve the problem. We'll just wait a few minutes. Agua, do you want to just come in and just tell participants we're just waiting to see if we can solve the translation problem? Kevin, can you just drop a note in the chat for participants that we're just waiting to see if we can solve the translation problem?
Will do.
Okay, Prof. Antonio says he is connected.
Mm-hmm. Can you just try and see if he can come through?
Antonio, your mic is muted. Can you unmute? Antonio?
Can I ask you, Sally?
Yes, we can.
Back.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I'll just repeat this slide then, Antonia, just so that. Okay, good.
Can I just ask something, Silly? Is the interpretation linked? That Antonio is the interpreter?
Yes, it is, Roma. It's been going fine. It seems like he had a break. Yeah.
And sorry, if Antonio can speak a bit louder, some people are saying the sound is low. So if I
can I continue,
yes.
Charles?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So thank you everybody for your patience. As I said, we are trying our best and we are learning as we go. So I'll just repeat this point I was making. I was just talking about the online website, the program website, where we have an e-library, which is an online library with materials for ESD. And this website has now got a translation function. So when you go onto the website, you can choose to read the website in English or in Portuguese. So please do visit the website because you'll be able to get a lot of information about the course on the website and the program on the website. Okay, are we okay? Yeah, Charles, are we okay with translation and communication?
I can hear you.
Okay. And the translation is working? Just double check that we
It seems to be working, Prof.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Then
Thank
I'll
you, it's
continue.
working.
Then I'll continue. Please just keep an eye on the chat and let me know if I need to stop. Okay. Because I'm not watching the chat. Okay.
Will do.
All right. So we have the website, and please do visit the website. I think Wilma can show it to you just now. And then we also have developed a online course, and we've had so far over 200 course participants online. And as I mentioned, we will be graduating 100 course participants who have completed the online course. We'll be graduating them soon. So there is a specific link to the online course, which Wilma will show us just now. And also she'll give us an update on the registration for the Portuguese, for the Mozambique and the Angola participants, and also give us some guidance on how to continue to register if we are not yet registered. So we'll come to that a bit later. Then what we do on the course is that we work on change projects. We work on ESD change projects. We started in March, from March to May, we start to get organized and ready for that with course registration, planning for our courses and so on. So we hope that, you know, by now everybody is registered or should be registered and beginning to think about the ESD change project that they want to work on in their institution. Then now in May, June, we will have 2 webinars where we will help to provide orientation and extra sessions which give some idea of the course, but the course itself must be done online. Okay, so the webinars are not the same as the course. And then what you will do is you'll work on change projects between now and the end of the year. And then we will be asking you to also report on the change projects, and the change projects also become part of the assignment on the online course. So Charles will tell us more about the change projects. We will also show you a number of other course participants that have been working on change projects. And by now we have quite a number of change projects that have been developed across the SADC region. So we will also share those with you. The course is structured according to 5 modules, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's an action learning program, as you can see with this little circle here at the bottom. And the action learning program takes place around your change project. So everything that you learn on the course is to deepen and to strengthen and to improve your ESD change project. So that's the purpose of the course, is to develop a very good, high quality change project. The change project is developed with others, so you will identify a community of practice to work with to develop your change project. So we will share much more information with you about change projects as we go along, but essentially a quality ESD change project must be orientated towards transformation of education and society through engaging critically and creatively with the intentions of SDG 4 on quality education, while addressing the dimensions of SDG target 4.7, which, as I mentioned earlier, are to develop the role of education and training in contributing to a more sustainable, just society for current and future generations. And it should have a clear transformative learning thrust, and it should deal with these SDGs. For example, to take climate action, to love water, to heal the earth, look after our biodiversity, to build living cities, sustainable cities, celebrate equality, to reduce inequalities. So it should deal with these issues in our society in some way or other, while advancing quality education. And then we've seen over the years, different people are doing different change projects. So a change project is an institutional change initiative. In other words, you work in your institution with others collectively. It can be a curriculum change project. It can be a teaching practice change project. It can be a whole institution change project, a departmental change project, or a community engagement change project. It can involve colleagues, can involve communities, students, or other institutional partners, for example, business or cultural organizations. And we use in this program, we use the term community of practice, which means that we work together with others to practice our change project. So it's a practical project, it's done with other people. And please, I want to encourage you to involve your students. The best change projects are the ones that are done with students. So please do involve your students, involve the communities, involve your colleagues, and develop some really interesting and exciting change project. So a community of practice is a group of people who are willing to work together on a practice and to learn more from each other. And you can also visit the website, and on the website you'll be able to see some of the change projects that have been done by the participants in 2019 and 2020. We're going to be uploading some of the 2021 change projects as soon as we are able to gather all of the information on those change projects. So a quality change project should also respond to national and institutional policies and strategies that help to strengthen sustainable development, and they should also be aligned to national and institutional curriculums and frameworks and contribute to curriculum transformation. And where possible, enhance interdepartmental engagement, cooperation, and communication, because to achieve sustainable development, we have to work together. It's not going to happen if we only work alone. So we also need to try, if we can, to develop whole institution approaches or system approaches. So we will be talking about that as we go forward. But most importantly, a quality change project should help to build the Africa that we want. So the structure of the Action Learning Project, I've already mentioned, is 5 modules, and we have them in books, in PDF books that can be printed and shared, or these exact same modules with the same content also forms the structure of the online course. So this blue book is the introduction. The yellow book is the guidelines for change project. These green books are the content of the course, and this purple book is the monitoring and evaluation that we will do together with you on the change projects. As I mentioned, the whole course runs around and sits around the change project. So here's some examples of some of the change projects. This is one from Lesotho, where they developed a sustainable green energy biogas digester on the campus. Here's one from Zimbabwe, where they developed a integrated ESD into the industrial attachment program in the TVET program. Here's one from Zambia, where they were developing eco-office practices at the University of Zambia. Here's another one, integrating 21st century competencies in teacher education through recycling, reusing, and reducing waste. This one is also from Zimbabwe, and so on. So there are many of these change projects, and we will share them with you. We also are taking the work into policy. So each of the countries has got a policy brief or a policy document that your regional reference group members have been developing with Charles. And we had a policy dialogue last year. We also just had a fantastic policy dialogue in Johannesburg in March, where we were able to work with the SADC Secretariat to develop an ESD policy for SADC. That policy is currently being discussed at the member state level. And so all of the work that we're doing in our change project is informing policy as well as monitoring and evaluation of the SDG 4 and 4.7 target. So from my side, that is a brief introduction, and I want to say thank you, Enkosi, in our language here, obrigado in Portuguese, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to now hand over to Charles to take us a bit further with our program for today. Charles, over to you.
Thank you very much, Hela, and for the introduction Let me share my screen. Prevent, please confirm you see that.
Charles, we can see it.
Good. Colleagues, welcome once more. As I said at the beginning, we are coordinating this program in partnership with the Rhodes University. So in my welcome remarks, I'm going to take you through some of the work that we've done and maybe also emphasize on the change project. So as I said, and as you may have read in our introduction or in our course acceptance, this program focuses on inducting sustainable development into teacher education, and we are guided by SDG 4, especially 4.7. And we've done some work in different countries, the 9 countries that we've been working with, and now we have Angola and Mozambique on board. Leila has already spoken about the Action Learning Program. So you'll be part and parcel of this Action Learning Program to complete the set of 11 sub-countries to develop change initiatives in your institutions to strengthen ESD in teacher education and TVET education institutions. We can overemphasize our guidance, which is the target 4.7, through the designing of our change projects. Now, I think you've seen this, the agenda we want, the Africa 2063. We've heard about it. And as we're moving around in countries, we'll also gather that in the other countries that we've been to, that we've worked with over the past 3 years, people have these aspirations. You also find these aspirations in certain guidelines. That is, people are worried about biodiversity loss. People are worried about how best can we increase sustainably agricultural output. How best can we improve our fair and equitable use of resources, clean air, a lot of these things mentioned by Hela. Then the big question that we always ask ourselves is, what is the role of teacher education and TVET education, especially in guiding the future generations of teachers in aligning ourselves with the Agenda 2063. So let me just zero in to support what he has said, especially on change projects. I'm going to talk about the qualities of change projects that we've designed, about 7 of them. Leila has mentioned some of them, but I'll also emphasize and repeat. What do we call a good change project? But before that, how best can you come up with your own change project idea is always the question that people say, how best do I design my own change projects? So this question have helped others in thinking about their change projects, because the moment the course has started, like today, we expect you as a participant in this course to thinking of that transformative journey, that is the transformation that you would want to see. So maybe you can ask yourself this question: what is currently happening with regards to education for sustainable development integration in your teacher education institution, or in your TVET program, or in your department, or in your learning area? I mean, the list is endless. You may be teaching teachers who will teach at early child level. You need to be asking, how best am I assisting this new teacher to integrate sustainable development in her or his teaching when he or she is dealing with the little ones? Hello?
Charles, we're getting, I think, a lot of problems with interference on the translation. I'm just wondering if Antonio can maybe just double check that he's going. Otherwise, we'll have to ask Agua if he can just help you to communicate the change project.
Okay.
Antonio, can you just see if there's any way you could improve the sound on your side? Okay. Yes, that's better, Antonio. That's much better now. Okay, that's much better. Thank you. Okay, Charles, I think you can continue.
Okay, thank you very much. So I was talking about some questions that you can ask yourself that you can start to conceptualize your change project. It's something that you can do over time, discuss with others, but this can guide you. So the first one I've mentioned is you have to check what is currently happening with regards to ESD integration in your institution or in your department or in your living area. Then the other thing is what is working well. Then you also ask yourself, what is not working so well? How can I make it better? This is now the change project there. If you discover what is not working well and what is working well, which you can build on, then your change project is on how can I make it better. They need to think about, as Hela said at the beginning, you cannot do this alone. You cannot transform a course out, for example, on your own. You need to be working with others. So you need to invite others, start from the onset, and to discuss and agree in the same concept, shared understanding of what for the transformative journey that you want to embark on. And the easiest way to do that is to go through the 5 steps of the learning action that Yehela has shown us. Policy, what does the policy say? And so forth. You go around asking yourself those questions. In most cases, you find that people jump into designing change projects without clearly understanding the national policies. And halfway through, they're stuck, or they may start to see some misalignment between what they're trying to do with what policies. We are so glad and blessed that in this region, the entire SADC region, most governments have now policies that are very much in sync, very much aligned to education for sustainable development. So from the onset, I think you need to know your policies and what is required in the 21st century teaching competencies. This is what this course will help you with. The 5 modules will clearly explain the 21st century competencies. So a combination of the national policies or curriculum frameworks and the required teaching competencies will help you so easily to identify or to conceptualize a change project. And you need again to zero down onto a given SDG if you want, focus on SDG or SDGs. Then you start implementing the rest, transformative language and so forth. Now, in most countries, you find that a new curriculum frameworks. We've seen this across the SADC region. Our countries draw from the same documents, which is the SADC indicative strategy for education. Now they go back to their countries, our political leaders, to transform, in cases, curriculum frameworks. Please, if you're in teacher education or if you're in TVET education, please dedicate some time to know what is happening in schools. Do we have a new policy? Do we have a new curriculum framework? Do we have new content, like, for example, climate change education? Or it can come in different ways and different names. Do we have a new secular? Then use that secular now to think around the following qualities of a good project. Number 1, the good project should respond or potentially contribute towards relevant national and institutional policies. You can easily bring people along, colleagues along, if your change idea is trying to align the work that you do on a daily basis with regional or national or institutional policies. You may have a new institution, a new policy in your institution to say, let's work towards climate change, for example. It's one big challenge we have. Let's work towards disaster risk reduction in education. That policy can lead you to a nice discussion around your change project. So in your reading for the change project, please to know your national frameworks. The challenge that we have seen in other countries, we find that, for example, in Zimbabwe and Zambia, the basic education ministry has gone on to transfer their curriculum, but the ministry that is responsible for teacher education is not quite aware of the new framework. It may look simple, but it's happening. Then the third one, your change project should have a clear ESD thrust. I think Ella has mentioned this. And ESD thrust, you can either get it from all the 17 SDGs, choose one, the thrust that you want, one or two, depending on what you want to do. Or you can also refer to policies at national level. Some of them can say, we've had a lot of floods and disasters that are claimed in, say, in Mozambique, where we've had some challenges, we die and so forth. And you find that that knowledge, that experience is slowly getting into the curriculum, especially for secondary primary schools. So it's good for teacher education to be proactive in a way of transforming their own curriculum, be it curriculum content or curriculum design, so that it aligns with what is happening or the new thinking in basic education. So then your change project should also enhance that interdepartmental engagement. In most cases, good idea will start with 3-4 people in their own department. Say if you're teaching geography or I don't know, make sure that involve others. To start with, convince the colleagues in your department, then you can move it wider to also bring people from other departments so that we work towards the whole institutional approach that's been referred to in earlier presentation of Ella. It doesn't help much if you only change your own little corner and you do some sustainability in your own little corner. The rest of the institution remains as business as usual. So you need to preach to others and involve others, especially at the discussions around projects. Then eventually, the change project should have a whole institution approach. Again, the idea is to contribute towards preparing learners for critical engagement, participatory citizenship, peace, and sustainable development. Learners in an institution should be worried if there's a lot of litter in the institution. Learners in institution, they should be worried there's a lot of loss of water, loss of biodiversity, inequality, gender intolerance, all those things that are spelled out in the SDG 4.7. So the idea is to transform ultimately the whole institution. Now, when I went to school myself, teaching was focusing on cognitive learning objectives, mastering of content. And we will master that very well. Some of us could memorize things easily and regurgitate them, repeat them in an exam, and you pass with flying colors. There was very little attempt to focus learning objectives on a social and emotional domain, that is on values, or making learners to rethink what they think is acceptable, to make learners reflect on what is considered as normal. For example, some of them grew up in patriarchal society, that gender division of labor was very acceptable and and the learning, the teaching was not designed to reflect on that, to critique that. But now ESD, the focus now is to push learning to cover more than one domain. Yes, we still need cognitive domain, that is master of content, but we also need social emotional learning domain. We also need behavioral or action-oriented learning outcomes. This is why we focus on that learning action framework. And also people should aspire, especially young people should aspire to transform the entire community. And this is why we say we can start as few people, but we grow bigger to engage more and more people. And this is why we're talking a lot about the whole institutional approach. You cannot talk about gender equality in one discipline, then you forget about it when you are having, say, sporting activities or entertainment. So again, good change project should focus on all these domains. And lastly, a good change project should foster lifelong learning. We should not think that the moment I get my certificate, whatever level I'm doing, then learning ends there. We all lived through this COVID pandemic because if you are not flexible to learn more, then things may be difficult. So the whole idea is to, through change projects, learners should acquire that desire to learn and to keep on learning. That's learning to learn competencies, critical thinking, reflexivity, adaptability, problem-solving skills, and attitudes. We should not be content to say, I now have a degree, I can now teach, I now have a teaching certificate, that's the end of my learning. And the idea is for teachers to learn from their students as well, for us to learn from students that whom are teaching in teacher education institutions and individual colleges. Now, so in terms of assessment is one big one that we have in our institutions and in our countries. We're going to delve deeper into this. In most cases, as I said earlier, our assessment has been focused on examinations at the end of the, say, seminar, semester, course, whatever. And you sit for a 3-hour paper, you pass, and that's the end. But now we're trying to rethink assessment because what teachers don't teach, usually they don't teach what's not assessed. So the best thing that we can do is to rethink our assessment, and this has been done and tested through other change projects. So we are developing in Southern Africa what we call assessment of significant learning. We're going to have a very nice presentation during the course of this week or next week on this one. There are people who are gurus in this one. But what I'm hinting is, don't shy away from developing change projects that can make assessment thinking or that can seek to transform the way we are assessing learners. So let's be open. We are designing. It's not only a question of changing the content or the pedagogy, but assessment too should be the focus of our attention as we are thinking about our change project. So along the way, we will be evaluating the impact of our change projects, and we are using what we call the value creation framework, and we'll get to this as we apply it. The beauty about this is you can assess yourself as you develop your change project, saying, what value has it created to me as an individual, as well as to the institution? Those simple 5 steps with the questions can help you to, even by the end of this session, if I say, what value has this created? If you have learned new knowledge, if you have gotten new partners or new networks, That's a value that has been created by just attending this webinar. Again, we'll talk about this as we go on. Now, so the focus mainly of these webinars are, number one, to build our national and regional networks. Networks is very important if you want to transform anything and getting to know each other. This is why we're requesting for people to introduce themselves. The pity we cannot see faces like what we normally do in a face-to-face meeting. And we also want to deepen our understanding of ESD, especially the action learning program. Then to start thinking about what do I need to transform? What is not working well in my institution? And to get to know which resources we have. Ella has already shared we have the website, which is already in Portuguese. We have reading material, learning material, which is already in Portuguese. So all these is the value addition through these webinars. Now let me get to numbers. So maybe I can entice you to say things are happening in other countries, and we want to see a lot of things happening as well in Mozambique and Angola. As Ella said, from 2019, we've got these countries, Mozambique, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. And beauty of it is we had 7 ESD change projects in Botswana. They've got about 8 institutions of teacher education and teacher education. Botswana is a small country, Namibia as well, and so we had 16 change projects. And the beautiful part is, although we may have very few change projects, we have got so many people participating in those change projects. For example, in Botswana, out of the 7 institutions, we've got 39 participants. And in Zimbabwe, out of the 16 institutions, we've got 162 participants. So this is what we're talking now about. When we talk of the whole institutional approach and building a community of practice which grows bigger and bigger, we want many people in an institution, starting from a department, taking part in those change projects. And then in 2020, we've got Lesotho, South Africa, and Zambia. And again, you can see 23 change projects in Zambia. So, but we have 121 participants. South Africa, 9. And so forth.
Apologies, Charles. I think there was feedback on the microphones are open.
Okay, fine. So, colleagues, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is in your institution, the idea can start with you who is doing the course, but for the change project to make meaning and sense, you need to invite others. And that's what we are calling the community practice. For transformation to happen in an institution, you need to invite others. So, and this being an online course, this is why we are having more people registering, and we welcome them to register so that we have many people in a given institution participating in these change projects, building networks within an institution and across in different countries and so forth. Angola telling us Mozambique has got 10 provinces. Even if we've got 3 or 4 teacher and TVET education participating in a province, they would want the numbers to increase through the community of practice given in a given institution. So this is just a summary of what happened in terms of creation, and Hela has shared with us the good news that we are going to have more people graduating, and we are also receiving news that we've got more people in Angola and Mozambique already almost completing the online course. Again, it's very important. Let's complete the online course, then we do our change projects, and these things can run and so forth. Now, in countries, Pesha will tell you more about this. We have got ESD for 2030 country initiatives, which for us, these are institutions that are going to be holding all the ESD change projects happening in a country. We are only working in teacher education and in TVET education. We also have colleagues in, say, Ministry Environment who are doing work, and our change projects should also link or in a way contribute to what is happening nationally in terms of integration of ESD in our work, and in our thinking, and in our learning, and so forth. Hela has mentioned this. The only thing that I want to highlight here is the SADC regional ESD strategy is going through editing and designing so that it can be presented to the ministers in June, that is mid-June. We are left with 1 week to refine it. The moment it is accepted, it will become a document for us all, a tool that we can use in our countries as we work on our ASD change projects. Ella, thank you very much, and welcome to you all to this course. Thank you. Back to Hela.
Thank you, Charles. Are you finished now?
Yes, I'm done. Let's see whether there are questions.
Yes. So, Charles, we're having some problems with the translation is not so very clear, but I'm just thinking, yeah, if there's any questions, we could maybe take a couple of questions now. Perhaps people could also put the questions into the chat and we can answer them in the chat and also on the Q&A function. And then just to let everybody know that, you know, we've still got 2 more weeks of just to clear and come to understand what it is that we're doing together. Also to start working on the online course. We've got another, not so many more minutes left, Charles, so I'm not sure what would be the best thing to do now with our time. We just...
Maybe to get some questions or comments on the chat and see.
Yes.
And Preven and Antonio can help us, but some of them are in Portuguese.
Okay, so Vilma also says she can just show the online course and maybe just, I think probably Vilma, the most useful will be is to look at when you've got more new sign up sessions for the online course, because you're also running special sessions to show the online course, aren't you?
Yes, I know.
Yeah. There's a question in the chat. What are the steps for producing a good change project? Charles, do you want to just speak to that briefly?
The question is talking about steps.
Steps for producing a good change project, yes.
Yeah, I'll talk briefly, then you can jump in, patients as well, because there's no straightforward answer here. But number one, I think if you ask yourself the set of questions that I referred to earlier on, with others, let these questions become a discussion or discussion items as you define your change project. What is not working well? What is working so well? How can I make it better? Or how can we make it better? That's better phrased that way. So these questions are very nice in terms of guiding, but as you do this course, one thing that I've seen is very important is to let your superiors know, number one, that you are attending this course. We've already done that through, if it's in the acceptance pack, but keep them informed, because the work that you want to do in terms of change project transforming, you need to do that with the knowledge and blessings of the senior people. It can be chairperson of a department or dean or I'm not sure, your principal supervisor, then the other thing that I would want you to focus on really is involve others. Don't do it alone. Then another huge step to understand the ESD content. Get to know the DGs. Get to know the policies in your country or frameworks in your country that can enable ESG integration. That's very important. And the good thing, I can repeat this several times, the good thing about our SAT is most of our countries, they do have these policies. But sometimes you find that the policy is in the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, for example, and not in the Ministry of Education. So it's up to you now to bring that policy, which talks about climate change education or disaster risk reduction education, to your teaching of teachers or teaching of TVET institutions. So I think it's very important to get to know policy frameworks and so forth. And then you plan with others. Planning is very important. Plan with others. Don't just throw ideas to others. Plan with others. Give yourselves tasks in a community of practice, roles. What are you responsible for? Who is going to be coordinating us? What are we going to first do? Are we going to focus mainly on the content of our course outline? Are we going to focus on pedagogics and so forth? Now let me stop there and maybe invite others to also, even Agua has done a very good change project to say what are the steps to implement a change project. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you very much, Charles. And we will be having special sessions where we will discuss the change project. So perhaps we can leave it until those sessions, because I see we are close to finishing off now in terms of time. So I think I just wanted to ask.
Sorry, Hela.
Yes.
There's a question in the Q&A from Anna. They're asking if the PowerPoint presentations that were just shared, will they be available in PowerPoint or PDF?
Yes, they will be. Yeah. So everything that we do, we put onto the online course platform. So we record the sessions, we put the recording onto the online course platform. All the PowerPoints are also included there. So it's all in one place, Anna, very easy to get to. Vilma will show us. Okay, thanks, Previn. So I'm going to just ask Vilma now just to let us know what the procedure is for those that have not yet registered for the online course. And then we'll end the seminar there today. Vilma, can you just introduce yourself? Please show us your video so that everybody can see you. Vilma is a very, very important person on this program. She is the one who is managing the online course. So she helps to deal with all of the queries and the registrations and everything. So Vilma, please, can you just give us just a few minutes in terms of what is the next steps for those that have not yet registered for the online course?
Well, thank you, Hela, and thank you. This was such an interesting session. I really enjoyed everything. Thanks, Hela and Charles. Yes, so at the moment, I will have another
Charles,
session.
can you take your screen off so that Vilma can share?
Yes, thank you. At the moment, I'll have another session on Friday at 2 o'clock to be supporting anybody that's struggling at the moment. But I will share my screen just to show everybody again how to register for the ones that have not registered. And also, can someone confirm that you can hear me clearly in the Portuguese translation?
We can, Vilma.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to just add the registration page or the login page in the chat. Everyone. Okay, so for many of you that's on this session that I've seen your names, you've already been able to log in and register. And some of you have also been very active, and I'm happy to hear that. So if you still need to register, then you just click on the registration button. And it seems like I'm very, and then you complete the registration form. Once you've completed your registration form, you will receive an email. The only thing is, some of you, if you look at your emails, it might have jumped to your spam folder. So just have a look at that. But if you're unsure, if you registered, you don't hear anything back, just email me or WhatsApp me so that we can have a look at that. So I'm just going to quickly go through the online course, just 5 minutes, not fast, but just to show everyone again. So I've got lots of names here, it seems. Okay. So you just type in your username or your email, and then your password, and you say login. So when you access the online course on your phone, it looks a little bit different. So if you're on your phone, okay, let me just go to the website quickly. So if you're on your phone, you will see on the right corner of your screen, there will be 3 lines. So those 3 lines will be the drop-down list. There we go. So that the drop-down list will be then basically your menu bar that will have the go-to course, your progress, resource hub, contact us, and log out, just in lines. So just remember that when you open the screen on your phone. So let's go on this page. I will make a link to go to all the different, to our videos and to the PowerPoint presentations. And I will also make it a link at the top. So you will find it if you want to go for videos or the presentations that we've done today. Just give me time until tomorrow, and then you will be able to find it on your menu. Right, so let's just go to the online course. The online course on my side, I think is quite easy to navigate, but I do think you need to get used to it a bit. So if you scroll down to this page, then you'll see that the course consists of different learning actions and then your introduction change project session. So to access, you can access these different modules any way you like. So let's say you're busy with learning action 4 and you want to return to your first module, the change project module, you can do that. So let's look at the first module. So as you see the course, this is a focus mode course. So what makes it quite nice is on your left, you have your menu bar. If you scroll up and down, you see all the different modules. At the top here, it shows your progress. So for me at the moment, it shows that I've got 27% completed on this course. And on my right side, there is my little icon, and I can also log out. And if I click here on the UNESCO, it will take me to the main page again. So every module has a little introduction page like this one. It will say module, and if you scroll down, it will have then the different sessions. Once you've completed this session, you will see that it has a little blue tick, a green tick next to it. Every module has the course materials. So if you click on materials, then you will find your that module's materials. So if you click there, and you will be able to download or access that specific modules booklet. So let's look at from a different one that I know none of you have looked at before, because some of you have been on these sessions with me. So this is now learning action 4. And again, if you click on materials, you will find your little booklet there. And you will then be able to just click on it and it will open up in a new page, the booklet for you. Okay, so if you see here on my list, there's no little ticks next to it. So it means that I've not been working on these sessions or basically say mark as complete. So go to the first bit where they sort of tell you what the objectives are of this module. By this stage, you have downloaded Learning Action 2's booklet. So you've got that, and then you've got this pages to also guide you through the booklet. So there's certain places where you are able to also then go continue with a case study. So if you click on the case study, it will take you to the case study story, which you can read the story. That also is a very good example of the whole process of a course. Then we continue, you go through all of it and the significant learning flower. And here's your little action box that you need to do something. And once you've completed this page, then you must remember to always click on Mark as Complete. Then you will automatically jump to the next page. But if you look here at the top, it shows now that I've completed 30% of an online course. So it keeps track clearly of what I do, but please make sure that you say Mark as Complete so that it is recorded. So I'm going to go to the left side and scroll down to the last session of Learning Action 4. So every last page or session of each module describes that part of your assignment, that part of your change project. So here again, if you would like to again download your Learning Action booklet, it's also available on this link, and there's also another link. So it gives you the questions. Oops. And I don't know why that one is not translated yet. I'll add that now. And then here at the bottom, you are then able to upload your assignment. So as you see here, it says a maximum upload file size is quite big. But if for some reason you cannot upload your assignment, if it's in a PDF form or a PowerPoint, that would probably be the first reason, is that it's too large. But again, just email me and I can have a look at your presentation or your assignment, and then we can see what's the best way to get it uploaded for you. So if you want to upload an assignment, you go to Browse, and let's say I'm just going to upload. So open. So here's my name that I've uploaded. I've said this now a couple of times. Please double check what you are uploading, because I have seen strange uploads before. And so you click on upload. And once you've uploaded, it sometimes takes a while, but then you will jump again to the top of your page. Don't have a fright when that happens. That is just your computer saying, okay, well, I've uploaded it. So once you've uploaded it, will jump to the top. So you just scroll down and you will receive a message waiting for review. The next feature I added because of the strange uploads I got. So let's say you accidentally uploaded something that you were not supposed to, or you want to change your assignment, then you can just click on delete this uploaded assignment. And then you can try it again. All right, so just to revise a little bit, please, I know you're going to go slowly through the course, but if you have time, just go and scroll through the whole course. Just see what's there and what you can look forward to. The more you familiarize yourself with the course, the easier it will be to navigate. So I'm going to go to the main page again. So this is under, yes.
Yeah, I think that probably just to try to wrap up if you can, because we're a little bit over time. And then what we need is, we need just, I think for today, just for participants to know that we are going to be running sessions to support everybody to get to know the online course platform, and also to be able to upload their assignments. There will be a lot of support. We've got 2 technical assistants in each country, Mozambique and in Angola, that will be working with Vilma to support all course participants to become very good at using this platform. So I don't think we have to cover everything today. It's going to take us too long. We're already over time with our webinar for today. So if it's okay with you, just to let us know when the next session will be. On Friday, you said, will that be, can you just remind us the time, Vilma?
Hyla, that will be again at 2 o'clock, I think, as far as, and I just added my email address. So anybody that's registering this week or has a problem, please just email me, or you've got my WhatsApp. I'm on all the WhatsApp groups. And thank you very much for the time.
Okay. So can we just say a big thank you to Vilma for that work on getting our course into Portuguese and online. It's been a huge, huge, huge work. And we want to say a very big thank you to Vilma for that work. And then to let everybody know, we are going to be supporting all course participants to get online, to be successful. And if you have any problems in the meantime to get registered, you can email Vilma. And otherwise, there will be a session on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock South African time. So just check the time difference for Angola, Mozambique, if there is. And we will remind everybody on the WhatsApp groups as well. Are we okay with all of that? Agua, did you want to just say something quickly at the end before we finish? Are you okay from your side in Mozambique?
Thanks a lot.
You're okay.
I think that this explanation was very useful for us. And I will ask my team, in special Marisa, to continue registering the participants. I think that any need will knock your door, Vilma. I think that we're okay.
Okay, obrigado. And I don't know if Sabino, the Angolan team, is there. But
hello?
Yes, if there's anybody
hello?
with any problem. Hello? You.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, colleague?
Yes, I will hear you.
Okay, I said that I'm feeling well, and I think about my colleague also. And any need will contact Vilma in order to solve the registration issue.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Agua, and also for the Angolan team, if there are any problems.
Maybe now I can show my picture if you allow me.
Yes, please do.
Can I? Can I?
Yes, you can start video, Agua.
Ooh, but I need helping from the host.
Tomorrow, Agua. Tomorrow,
Yeah,
and just for the rest, yes. Also for the rest of the participants from Mozambique, the participant link
today.
will
Next
be
time.
on the.
I've got one thing for Agua.
Yes.
Agua.
Okay,
Yes, Agua, please.
I'm many baguette.
Many.
Yes.
I'm many baguette because I share with my link with others.
Agua, do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
can you please, on Wednesday, please get prepared to share your change project and make it in Portuguese, your slides in Portuguese, that door.
Okay, okay.
We'll give you about 15 to 20 minutes to share that nice change project of yours.
Okay, I will do it. I can
Please,
do it.
in
I will do it.
Portuguese.
Thanks,
Okay.
my brother.
Obrigado.
Thanks, Ella.
Okay, pleasure.
All right. Okay, everybody. So I think we will finish the webinar now for today. I want to say thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to Antonio for the interpretation. Thank you to Vilma. Thank you to Previn, Zandy, Charles, everybody. And please join us tomorrow. We have a webinar with the Director of Education, Carol. She will be doing a keynote for us. So please do join us again at the same time tomorrow. And for all of the baguettes, we will put a link onto the WhatsApp group, and then you can come into the program with that link. Okay, so you don't all need to use the link from Agua that you got today. So we can get to one baguette. And otherwise, just a very big thank you to everybody. Obrigado. Have a good day further. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Ella.
you, Helen. Thank
Thank you very
you,
much.
Charles.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Patience.
Previn.
Thank
Thank you, Wilma. Thank
Thanks,
you,
colleague.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Mhm.